publication, distribution of his books, and established temple with his deities. And that's what he did. He gave, as we say, the best years of his life, working very hard for that. Prabhupada was very pleased by his service, and now he's very kindly coming back to us today to give us a few words. Okay.
Gopaswami, is that you?
Huh? Yeah,
is that Gopaswami looking at you right now?
Yeah, I changed so much. Yeah, it's me, it's Gopa. It's your translator.
Where are all the devotees?
Where are all the devotees? They are sitting around in the dark so that we can see the screen. Today is disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So on the Vyasa sand that you know well, we have a picture of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And we have the other Vyasa sand, the one from Paris, you know, with the iron thing around. Srila Prabhupada is there on this one.
Nice.
Yes.
And where are all your devotees? Can I see them?
Yes, you can turn to the devotees. Huh? So here you have Gopal, here you have Krishna Charana, and many guests. Where is Janananda? Can you Nitai Sashi Sutta and Dhananjaya and where is
Namaste, all of you.
What?
Glories to Prabhupada and Gaura-Nitai.
This is the temple president, Lord Janananda. He is married with another president, the Gurukul girl, Ganga, Nandavikarai.
What happens if you turn your lights on?
We don't see much the. Yeah, here is Janananda Maharaj.
Namaste, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Namaste, Bhagavan Prabhu. Hare Bo. Long time no see. Hare Krishna.
How many devotees are living out there?
There's about 40 devotees, 45 devotees living in the chateau. We have about 20 volunteers, and there's about 150 devotees here today for the festival.
Nice.
Hare Krishna.
Weather good for being outside?
Weather is cold.
Yeah, that's right.
We cannot see you very clearly.
Okay, go darker again. Turn that off.
Oh, yeah, good, better.
Do you want? Yeah, there you go. Can you see me? Turn it on. Light, more light.
Hare Krishna.
Gopaswami.
Bhagavan Prabhu.
So, Nityananda looks still young. You got older.
We had such nice time here. Do you remember?
All right.
So much hard work.
I saw Visvambar might be.
Can you make the sound better?
There you are. Now I can see.
Okay. See how I'm happy?
So how do you want to begin?
Yeah, now you can start. Tell us something if you remember anything about this installation. We don't remember so much ourselves, although we were there. I remember that you worked very hard many days to build up the altar with Malibanda. Ah, here you are.
Well, there you go. You see me?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to begin?
Please, please.
Well, let's begin. Are you translating?
If you like, yes. I know how to translate you.
Okay, so we're going to translate, right?
All right. Hare Krishna.
All right. Well, of course, let's begin with honoring our Guru, Srila Prabhupada, for bringing everybody together.
Bhagavan Prabhu commence par honorer Srila Prabhupada, notre gourou, qui nous réunit tous.
This is a very divisive time in history.
C'est un moment actuellement dans l'histoire où il y a beaucoup de divisions.
And people are not seeing the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy, which is very simple, which is everything is simultaneously one and different from God, from everything else.
Les gens ne voient pas, ne comprennent pas aujourd'hui cette philosophie simple de Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, l'unité dans la diversité, où tout le monde est à la fois un sous Dieu et la diversité.
Of course, at the time when there were the Mayavadis, the deviation of knowledge was that everything is one and nothing, and difference is just an illusion.
À l'époque des Mayavadis, les gens ne voyaient pas cette diversité. Pour eux, tout était un. La diversité, c'était juste de l'illusion.
And so we promoted the difference between us and God and us all being exactly the same.
Et donc, nous avons fait la promotion de cette philosophie dans laquelle nous sommes tous unis, un avec Dieu, et en même temps, nous avons notre individualité.
So it's important for the devotees in their preaching of Gaura-Nitai's message to stress both options, oneness and difference.
Donc, c'est important pour les dévots et, de prêcher cette philosophie de Gaura-Nitai où il y a à la fois l'unité et la différence.
So now the world is suffering because everyone wants to be identified by their differences.
Aujourd'hui, le monde souffre du fait que les gens veulent être identifiés à leurs différences uniquement.
The philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that we may be qualitatively the same, but we're different in power.
La philosophie de Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, c'est que nous sommes tous égaux du point de vue qualitatif, mais quantitativement, nous sommes différents.
And so the principle of who dominates who is very clear for devotees, but for those who are materialistic, they want to dominate according to their differences. They want to even, in what you would call hypocritical religion, they want to dominate God as well.
Et cette philosophie que connaissent bien les dévots de l'unité dans la différence, d'autres veulent établir simplement la diversité, la division par les différences, même dans les domaines religieux, ils veulent essayer de récupérer Dieu pour leur propre vision sectaire.
Well, if you studied America, Christianity wants to dominate the thought and dominate politics and dominate everything with a Jesus that says, you say you know me, but I don't know you.
En Amérique, par exemple, la religion, les chrétiens, ils veulent dominer par l'intermédiaire aussi de la politique, du pouvoir. Et pourtant, Jésus disait bien, vous dites que vous me connaissez, mais moi, je ne vous connais pas.
And Muslims want to dominate, and Jews want to dominate Palestinians. Muslims want to dominate the world, and Indians, of whom we are grounded in their philosophy, seem to want to dominate the computer industry.
Les uns comme les autres, quelle que soit leur obédience, religieuse ou autre, essaient toujours de garder la domination, de dominer quoi que ce soit d'une religion à l'autre, y compris aujourd'hui, domination par l'intermédiaire du pouvoir de l'informatique.
So getting back to the point that people concentrating on their differences is put the world in a very dangerous position. And Gaura-Nitai make their appearance to bring out our oneness.
Donc, pour revenir au point de base, c'est que les gens essaient de cultiver donc uniquement cet aspect de la différence pour pouvoir en imposer sur les autres et dominer. Et Gaura-Nitai, eux, sont venus nous donner cette harmonie de la différence et de l'unité.
So the history, as Prabhupada said once, time is God's mind.
L'histoire, comme le veut Prabhupada et comme il est dit, c'est que le temps, il est dit que le temps, c'est le mental de Dieu.
So when we today try to recount the history of the installation of Gaura-Nitai at New Mayapur, actually it goes back much further than the immediate remembrance of the installation ceremony.
Et aujourd'hui, nous célébrons donc le 45e anniversaire de l'installation de Gaura-Nitai à la nouvelle Mayapur. En fait, cette cérémonie nous ramène même beaucoup plus antérieure à ce qui s'est passé il y a 45 ans.
For example, we can remember when my godbrother and I were building the first altar for Gaura-Nitai. That must be around 1980, when we went to Italy to get the marble.
Par exemple, la construction du premier hôtel donc de Gaura-Nitai, ça nous ramène dans les années où, dit Bhagavan Prabhu, je suis allé avec mon frère en Dieu chercher le marbre en Italie.
And that's one beginning, but how am I transforming?
Donc, transformation, se transformer, c'était ça le mouvement que Prabhupada aussi est venu donner. Et donc, on doit se poser cette question de comment je me transforme.
Yeah. So the meditation today on Gaura-Nitai is all about transforming.
Donc, cette méditation d'aujourd'hui sur Gaura-Nitai, c'est simplement cette méditation sur la transformation.
Krishna is saying, I waited 100,000 years, maybe 1,000,000 years, to transform from these elements under the earth and to the form you see today.
Krishna, il a attendu 100 000 ou 1 million d'années peut-être pour que ces éléments qui étaient dans la terre deviennent maintenant les formes que vous avez aujourd'hui devant vous.
Just think, 1,000,000 years in the ground, some unknowing person in Italy carves it out of the ground into a big chunk, Someone else cuts it into a big rectangular block, or in India rather, and then someone else starts chipping away at what's unnecessary.
Essayez un peu de vous représenter, il y a 1 million d'années, il y avait cette pierre qui était sous terre, et un jour, il y a quelqu'un qui est venu récupérer un gros bloc de marbre, et un sculpteur s'est mis à le tailler. C'était pas nécessaire. Ah bon, d'accord.
So when you think of deities, think of how what's unnecessary in that block head of everybody can get chipped away to unnecessary identifications, unnecessary qualities, unnecessary habits, unnecessary patterns that don't serve to bring out the beauty.
Donc, de la même façon, nous, par ce processus de transformation, il y a beaucoup de choses à enlever dans le bloc de notre mental, beaucoup d'identification, de connexions matérielles fausses. Et tout ce qui n'est pas la beauté. Merci.
Right. You can picture the little Indian sculptor in Jaipur chipping at the marble block and watching the pieces fall on the ground.
Vous pouvez vous imaginer ce petit sculpteur indien qui taille le bloc de marbre petit à petit, tout s'en va par terre.
Can you picture?
Okay.
Can you picture that? The marble guy chipping away at the block and the chips falling on the ground to be swept away.
Ouais. Vous les voyez, vous les imaginez, ce bloc de marbre là qui est débarrassé petit à petit des petits morceaux qui tombent par terre.
Now picture an arm coming out and another arm coming out and a leg and a torso and a face.
Maintenant, imaginez que petit à petit, ainsi apparaissent des bras, des jambes, un torse, un visage.
And a hand and lotus feet.
Les mains et les pieds pareils au lotus.
Out of a 1,000,000-year-old piece of stone that was just waiting to take shape.
Tout cela vient d'un bloc de pierre qui était là depuis 1 million d'années sous terre, attendant d'apparaître.
Now picture looking at the deity and seeing the deity chip away at all the anarthas.
Et nous sommes là à regarder les murtis et tout représentez-vous maintenant en train de vous débarrasser aussi de tous vos anarthas.
And then shaping you into something beautiful too.
Et sculptez-vous ainsi en quelque chose de très beau également.
And then you going out and finding another blockhead.
Et vous allez ailleurs et vous allez chercher un autre bloc. Okay. They're translating for me.
Someone whose head is like a block of marble.
Mais c'est pas un bloc de marbre.
And you chipping away at that and transforming them.
Et vous les sculptez, vous transformez ces autres blocs matériels.
That's why you're sitting there today.
C'est pourquoi vous êtes là aujourd'hui.
That's the only reason.
Voilà la vraie raison.
Teaching people how to eat, teaching people how to be clean, teaching people how to be just,
enseigner aux gens petit à petit comment être propre, manger, être juste.
Gopaswami, you remember the 4 qualities of Kali Yuga?
Sûr. Quality, uncleanliness, untruthfulness, no mercy, no austerity.
Yeah.
C'est pas trop dur avec moi.
Oh. This is what Bhakti Yoga warriors are about bringing into balance.
Donc voilà ce que doivent affronter les combattants de Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah. We don't want to use our energy to bring Kali Yuga into Bhakti Yoga. We want to bring Bhakti Yoga into Kali Yuga.
Nous ne voulons pas utiliser notre énergie pour emmener les qualités du Kali Yoga dans le Bhakti Yoga. Nous voulons utiliser notre énergie pour amener le Bhakti Yoga dans le Kali Yoga.
Yeah. We don't want our gurus to think all these disciples are mine.
Nous ne voulons pas que
Say you're Bhaktisiddhanta's disciples. And so we give up the principle of ownership.
Nous ne voulons pas que nos gourous pensent que leurs disciples leur appartiennent et nous voulons abandonner cette notion de propriété.
As soon as you think of ownership or domination, then you become infected by the Kali Yuga corona.
Dès qu'on entre en soi cette notion de propriété personnelle, c'est là où on est infecté par le corona du Kali Yuga.
One thing that I personally have learned in life
Une chose que j'ai appris personnellement dans la vie,
that people don't belong to each other, they belong with each other.
c'est que les gens ne s'appartiennent pas les uns aux autres, mais ils sont ensemble, ils forment une unité ensemble.
And I find that helps me immensely.
Et cela m'a énormément aidé.
The ownership, that's placed in Radha and Krishna.
Une personne. La propriété, ça n'appartient qu'à Krishna.
We are just meant to be responsible.
Nous, il nous revient simplement d'être responsables.
To maintain at the least, and to improve is the best. So whatever good things are given to you, at least maintain them. And if you can, by being empowered through Bhakti Yoga, make it better.
Donc, il nous revient d'essayer de maintenir ce qui est bien. Et si nous ne sommes mis en pouvoir par le Bhakti Yoga, essayer d'améliorer.
So don't just say, I'm here to serve you. That becomes a cliche. Just be active to help making the person next to you better.
Et que la phrase « je suis là pour vous servir » ne devienne pas un cliché, mais simplement essayer d'aider la personne qui est à côté de vous à devenir meilleure.
Prabhupada came to New Mayapur from London. He was not feeling well at all.
Quand Srila Prabhupada est venu depuis Londres jusqu'à la nouvelle Mayapur, il ne se sentait pas très bien à ce moment-là.
And we had just acquired New Mayapur.
On venait
And
juste,
everyone was working very hard for Prabhupada to come.
on venait juste d'acquérir la nouvelle Mayapur, tout le monde avait travaillé très dur pour préparer l'arrivée de Prabhupada.
And I remember all the devotees working upstairs in the room that you see, Prabhupada's room, working day and night to make it something very special.
Je me souviens encore de dévots qui travaillaient très dur jour et nuit pour préparer l'appartement de Prabhupada au premier étage et en faire quelque chose de très spécial.
And they were working day and night, non-stop.
Et vraiment, ils travaillaient non-stop, sans arrêt, jour et nuit.
And then I got a call from London that Prabhupada was not coming because he was not feeling well.
Et à ce moment-là, j'ai reçu un appel de Londres disant que Srila Prabhupada ne viendrait pas parce qu'il était malade.
So I mustered up my ego and figured I'd go to London and help make Prabhupada feel better.
Et donc, j'ai utilisé mon ego et je me suis dit, je vais aller voir Prabhupada à Londres et essayer qu'il se sente mieux.
So I arrived in London and they brought me to see Prabhupada in the Bhaktivedanta Manor. And I told Prabhupada how hard everyone was working and that if he could please find the strength to come.
Donc, je suis allé à Londres, on m'a emmené voir chez le Prabhupada et je lui ai expliqué comment tout le monde travaillait tellement dur ici pour l'accueillir et qu'on s'attendait à ce qu'il vienne.
And there was quite a little bit of resistance from Prabhupada until I told him that he didn't have to walk up the stairs, he could take the elevator.
Et Prabhupada avait continué un petit peu à résister à l'idée de venir, jusqu'à ce que je lui explique qu'il y avait un ascenseur et qu'il n'aurait pas besoin de monter les marches pour aller à son appartement.
So I think we took him up in a palanquin, I can't remember. That was Paris Temple had the elevator, I think. He came to both.
Oui, il est venu aussi bien à Paris qu'ici. Dans les deux temples, il y avait des ascenseurs.
So for your information, Prabhupada said if he had not come to New Mayapur, he would have missed a great thing.
Et une fois que Prabhupada est venu ici pour l'installation de Krsna Bhamini, il a dit, alors, effectivement, si je n'étais pas venu ici, j'aurais vraiment manqué beaucoup.
And after Prabhupada left New Mayapur, he went back to India and he talked about it so much.
Et après cela, il est parti en Inde, il a beaucoup parlé ensuite de la nouvelle Mayapur.
So you are inheritors of Prabhupada's happiness.
Vous êtes les héritiers du bonheur de Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhagavan. Thank you to bring us back to Prabhupada's days and the arrival of our deities here, gorgeous deities, as you said. We're waiting for so long to appear. And your final words are very touching, that we are inheritance of Srila Prabhupada's happiness to our devotees in order to bring unity in all species, if I have understood it all, your message. And I think we have somebody from Canada now waiting to speak, somebody named Visvambar Prabhu, and he's here now. Yes. So let's keep in touch. Thank you for all the hard work you have been also with all of us here. And Gaura-Nitai and
Krishna and Balaram and Radha Govinda Madhava are there to hear you also. And great Hare Krishna.
Where's Visvambar?
Where's Visvambar? He's waiting, I think, to appear.
Can we get a picture?
So we ask him, he should be coming now. Visvambar Prabhu. Au milieu, la dame que vous voyez, c'est Mère Kripa. Vous l'avez reconnue?
I don't know how to do it on the TV.
Where's Zoom?
No, no. Visvambar Prabhu, we are waiting for you.
I can hear.
Oh, we can hear you also. We don't see you, but we can hear you.
I don't have a video.
Tu n'as pas de vidéo, hein?
No.
Oh, too bad.
Maybe it's better that way.
No, that's the way it's.
No way,
You-
Visvambar.
You
We
hear
want to
first.
see you.
Well, I can thank Bhagavan very much for his reflection on New Mayapur. I had not prepared to speak on it on the 45th anniversary of Nitai Goswami, but I would like to listen to everybody else. That would be more purifying for me to hear than to speak.
Visvambar Prabhu s'est dit qu'il a savouré l'intervention de Bhagavan Prabhu et qu'il pense que ça serait mieux s'il pouvait entendre les dévots parler de la nouvelle Mayapur et de Gaura-Nitai, ce serait plus purifiant pour lui. Mais nous, ça ne nous va pas, Visvambar Prabhu.
Je vais parler une autre fois. Il faut que je m'habitue un peu à la formule telle qu'elle est. C'est la première fois que j'entreprends une discussion pareille. Alors, si vous voulez bien m'excuser, laissez parler d'autres dévots et dévotes et peut-être plus tard, je pourrai joindre la conversation.
That's the nature of Visvambar. He never wants to lead, but he's good.
So Visvambar is saying that he doesn't feel yet comfortable enough with this type of conversation on Zoom like this. And he asked if we can wait a little another time, maybe he will be for more familiar with that. Bhagavan comments that yes, this is Visvambar, he's very capable, but he never wants to lead. Plus tard.
He says it.
In 5 minutes, okay, you have 5 minutes to get together, Visvambar Prabhu.
Well, I didn't realize New Mayapur was getting so tough.
Huh? Okay, what can we do? Okay, maybe we can hear Mother Kripa, and after Visvambar can tell us something, okay? So, Mother Kripa, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Hey, Krishna.
Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, if Visvambar isn't going to speak, how can I speak? I just, I'll just say very quickly that thank you, Bhagavan Prabhu, for that wonderful class. I realized that one reason we were able to stay at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet for all those years was by hearing from you. And I'm always praying that this block of marble will get shipped away. Here we are 50 years and it's still getting shipped. Yeah, thank you. And thank you all the devotees that are there at New Mayapur. It's such a holy place. That temple room, when I chant my japa, I picture myself walking into that temple room and offering obeisances to Gaura-Nitai and Radha Govinda Madhava and Krishna Balaram. It's like entering the spiritual world. So you're sitting right now in the spiritual world. And that was in the mind of Krishna. And that was in the mind of Srila Prabhupada, just like you said, Bhagavan Prabhu. It's amazing and ever etched in our minds. But in the beginning of this conversation this morning, I mentioned to Bhagavan that New Mayapur, I mean, it was a beautiful idea. It was an amazing place out in the country. But it was so empty until that day, honestly, until that day that that Gaura-Nitai came to the farm. It was a farm. And then it was transformed into Vaikuntha when they came. That was an amazing gift. What?
Yeah. Kripa,
Yeah.
je remercie Bhagavan Prabhu pour les paroles qu'il a données. Ça fait 50 ans qu'elle attendait de pouvoir
Oh,
réentendre.
it's translating.
Elle dit qu'elle se voit encore à Nouvelle Mayapur chanter ici dans cette salle de temple extraordinaire et que lorsqu'elle chante son japa, elle revoit tout ça, toujours, elle le voit de façon répétée. Et c'est Vaikuntha, cet endroit-là où nous nous trouvons maintenant. Et avant, c'était un endroit totalement désert. Avant Gaura-Nitai n'arrive, c'était juste une ferme, perdue au milieu de rien. Et quand Gaura-Nitai sont venus, tout s'est transformé.
I hear Visesa in the background there. Yeah. So, yeah, deity worship is such a blessing that Krishna gives us, that he comes before us. Our blind eyes can actually begin to see him, and our hard hearts can actually begin to serve him. That's something exceptional that doesn't exist anywhere that I know of, except in the gift that Srila Prabhupada gave us. So, yeah. Then the cows have meaning because the milk is churned into wonderful Mangal Artik sweets that make us fat and make us devotional. And it's an incredible magic trick that Krishna performs. And when Gaura-Nitai came, then making those sweets became, transformative.
Okay. Est-ce que tu as compris? Quelqu'un a compris? Ah, les suites de Manjari. Les plateaux de Manjari à l'époque. Sure.
And then those kirtans became transformed also. I mean, just everything changed. And then when all the Sankirtan devotees would come back after, distributing all over the streets of France and beyond, and they would come back on the weekends, and the kirtans would just explode into, it was Vaikuntha and beyond. Just amazing grace. So it's funny, there are a lot of things that I don't maintain images in my mind of, but those images of us dancing and chanting and feasting together and hearing together in that gorgeous temple room with Gaura-Nitai. That's forever in my mind. And I know it's in the mind of all of our children. And I know it's in the mind of all of the devotees who spend so much time there. Remember the sound of the doors on the altar when they would open, click, 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 and the sun would shine in on the Lord? Just phenomenal, phenomenal. So, yeah. I thank you all. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Montre alors les mortiers, tu peux, non? Mother Kripa se rappelle bien comment oui, cette ferme isolée est devenue tout d'un coup transformée, vivante, transcendantale avec l'arrivée de Gaura-Nitai. Et de la même façon, lorsque les dévots partaient en sankirtan partout dans la France, et quand ils revenaient, c'était des kirtans complètement explosifs. Et...
Okay, I'll let somebody else speak, but I'm very grateful to be able to sit in the temple room with all of you again today. And I want you to know I sit in that temple room every day in my mind and in my heart. So thank you. And, you know, I've talked to so many devotees lately. We yearn to actually maybe be back at New Mayapur. So who knows? Who knows? Thank you for carrying on the wonderful service to their lordships. Hare Krishna. Oh, that's a beautiful. Thank you for the picture. We were waiting for that. Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother Kripa, thank you so much. She's thanking all the devotees, carrying out the service here. So this was Mother Kripa. She spent many years here, serving the deities and the Gurukul and many other things. She was the ex-wife of Indradyumna swami, and she is already thinking of New Mayapur. Mother Kripa was thinking of you also. And I see somebody there also. We have Mother Bogini. Can you hear me?
And
yes.
You can see me, so so would you like me to say a couple of things, my memories, so I can do that?
Yeah, if you can give some memories, and especially about this installation of Gaura-Nitai, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you've asked me to speak now, because other people will have memories of the actual installation. But what I particularly remember is by the time New Mayapur was purchased, I was living in Rome, in the temple in Rome. And we were very few devotees at that time. I think between 20 and 30 devotees in 1975. And so we were invited to come to the installation of Sri Gaura-Nitai. And so we traveled by car or by van. I was asked, I was Gaura-Nitai's Manjari in Italy. That was the service that I received almost as soon as I arrived in Italy. And Mother Kripa, I was like really happy to hear what you were saying, because actually it was you that engaged me in service to the deities when I was in Fontanera Rose. Because when I first came to the temple, there was all these tulsi plants and somebody needed to look after the tulsi babies. And so I was making skirts for tulsi, and you turned round to me one day and you're saying, if you can sew for tulsi, then you should be sewing for Lord Jagannath. So that was my first service to them.
To let Gopaswami translate.
Oh yes, of course.
Thank you. Okay, Mother Bogini, she was here also. She came from Rome. She was there as a okay. Mother Bogini aussi, elle a passé beaucoup de temps ici. Elle était originellement à Rome, vers le premier temple, et ils sont venus en fourgon, en plusieurs, pour l'installation de Gaura-Nitai, pour elle aussi, c'est des souvenirs très marquants. Elle remercie aussi bien Kripa qu'il a engagé dans oui, elle a joué à Paris, Bogini, et avec vous avez cours et toute la Sibérie, tout ça. Okay.
Okay. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So then we were invited to come, and we had two transit vans, and I was asked to drive the one we usually took out on Sankirtan with the ladies, and the boys came in another one which was a bit bigger. And I looked it up the other day. It was 1,400-mile drive, which takes 14 hours. I have no recollection of stopping to sleep, so I imagine that we must have switched drivers at some point, but mostly I did the driving.
Bogini se rappelle qu'elle a conduit la plupart du temps pour venir pendant les 14 jours de voyage depuis Rome jusqu'ici.
And that was a very short translation, but that'll do. And so we were also coming from Italy where it was warmer. And when we arrived in New Mayapur, which was the first time we'd ever been to New Mayapur, I say we, but that would have been Sumaka and Haya and Ali Krishna. Or was Ali Krishna already in France? I think Ali Krishna was already in France doing translation. So it was the first time we came to New Mayapur, and it was.
How am I transforming?
Donc, transformation, se transformer, c'était ça le mouvement que Prabhupada aussi est venu donner. Et donc, on doit se poser cette question de comment je me transforme.
Yeah. So the meditation today on Gaura-Nitai is all about transforming.
Donc cette méditation d'aujourd'hui sur Gaura-Nitai, c'est simplement cette méditation sur la transformation.
Krishna is saying, I waited 100,000 years, maybe 1,000,000 years, to transform from these elements under the earth and to the form you see today.
Krishna, il a attendu 100 000 ou 1 million d'années peut-être pour que ces éléments qui étaient dans la terre deviennent maintenant les formes que vous avez aujourd'hui devant vous.
I don't have any great memories. All I can say at the moment is I remember walking up the steps into New Mayapur, into the entrance lobby, meeting loads of devotees rushing backwards and forwards into the temple room.
Tout ce que je me rappelle, voilà, nous sommes arrivés, on monte les marches du perron du château et on est accueillis par des va-et-vient de tous les dévots qui courent dans tous les sens de la salle de temple.
But what they were doing was building the temple room. They were laying the marble floor. Bhagavan was laying the marble floor. People were whizzing around in working clothes, laying the floor for the installation.
Et pour préparer l'installation, on est rentré, on a vu tous les dévots qui étaient en habit de travail en train d'installer le marbre partout sur le planche, sur le sol ici, pour préparer l'installation. Bhagavan était là pour faire toute cette installation du sol en marbre.
And I remember Yogeshvara coming out of the temple room to greet us and saying, there is going to be such ecstatic kirtan because this floor, this marble floor is so cold, nobody is going to want to keep their feet on it for any length of time.
Et le soir, nous a accueillis, il nous a dit, vous allez voir, il va y avoir des kirtans extraordinaires parce que le sol en marbre, il est tellement glacial qu'il va falloir sauter.
So I'm not going to hold anybody else's attention. People maybe will have some memories that will help to jog my memory, but I actually don't remember the installation itself, even though I was there. Or maybe I was in the kitchen. Maybe that's why I don't remember it.
J'étais sûrement dans la cuisine parce que je me souviens plus trop de l'installation elle-même. Je devais être dans la cuisine pour toujours.
But one thing I do remember is we didn't sleep for 3 days and nights. And when we drove back, I said, as we were going home, I said, I'm not going to drive. I haven't slept enough. It's not safe. So they allocated us a brahmachari to drive our van. And somewhere on our way into Switzerland, he said, Mataji, I'm too tired. You have to drive. I took the wheel, and somewhere around 2 o'clock in the morning, we had an accident where the road went one way and I went the other way.
3 jours, 3 nuits sans dormir dans la nouvelle Mayapur, et il a fallu repartir. J'étais incapable de conduire. C'est un brahmachari qui a pris le volant. Arrivé au niveau de la Suisse, il ne pouvait plus conduire. Il m'a obligé de prendre le volant. 1 heure après, on a eu un accident. La voiture est partie d'un côté, moi de l'autre.
But fortunately, nobody was hurt. Somebody helped to straighten out the crushed bumper, and it didn't take away anything at all from this. I mean, we must have been in New Mayapur for 5 days, I think, 3 days for the installation and maybe a day either side for arriving and leaving. What a blissful experience. Whatever the memory is, the feeling of being united with so many devotees all together and celebrating the arrival of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda at New Mayapur. What a wonderful experience. So yeah, thank you. That's all I have to say.
En tout cas, quels que soient les souvenirs précis, concrets, le sentiment surtout que je retiens de cette installation, c'était cette grande unité de tous les dévots réunis ensemble pour l'arrivée au Gaura-Nitai. Un souvenir extraordinaire. Thank you so much, Mother. Bogini Pabuki. Yeah.
Thank you.
Un problème technique, on fait le micro 2 secondes.
Oui.
Et ensuite, tu peux dire.
Did we lose connection again?
Probably. That was nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
thanks, Bogini.
It's so lovely. When they lost connection last time, Chitra Leela texted me and she said they had a power cut. So I don't know if that's what's happened now. But that's what happened before.
What's going on? Okay.
Oh, they're back.
They're back.
Hare Krishna. So just our sound is going to be cut for a few seconds so that you can see the video. But please, Krsna Bhamini, you can start talking because everyone can hear you. It's just our mic that will be cut for a few seconds.
Ok, Krsna Bhamini est venu avec Bhagavan en France, ils étaient mariés. Et elle aussi est restée ici longtemps. Elle est restée, oui. Elle est restée ici assez longtemps. Et une merveilleuse personne.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krsna Bhamini. You're bringing a smile on everybody here and on the...
Please accept my humble obeisances. And it's wonderful to have the darshan of Shri Gaura-Nitai, Krishna Balaram, and Radha Govinda Madhava. This is really a treasure.
There in your heart.
I was told that this meeting started at 7:30. Was I wrong? Because I missed what Bhagavan had to say. Well,
No,
7:30.
I told you it was French time.
No, but I was, anyway, did you start here at 7 or 7:30?
Well, you're here.
Anyway, it was wonderful to see Bogini after all these years and the temple room and all the devotees. I just remember having the fortune of being able to dress Gaura-Nitai very often. And that was always...
Je me rappelle simplement d'avoir eu la chance de pouvoir habiller tellement souvent Gaura-Nitai.
that was always just totally ecstatic and a little bit nerve-wracking because they're so big and they had so much paraphernalia, and you know, we had only a certain amount of time, so it was intense and absolutely fabulous. And I don't know if I remember exactly, you know, the moment of the installation at all. So many installations and so much beauty and so much ecstasy. And I think Kripa and I always talk, Mother Kripa and I always talk, oh, when will the day come when we go back to New Mayapur and stay there?
So everybody is cheering, yes, yes, yes. So Mother Kripa explique comment elle se rappelle surtout d'avoir habillé souvent Gaura-Nitai. Au début, c'était vraiment une expérience troublante parce que d'un seul coup, il fallait s'occuper de Gaura-Nitai rapidement. Il y avait beaucoup de paraphernalia, etc. Et avec Mère Kripa aussi, elle se souvient de tout cela. Et maintenant, elle dit que pense juste avec elle que quand est-ce qu'on va pouvoir revenir et rester à Nouvelle Mayapur. We cannot see you, but you don't have a video yourself, Mataji?
Let me see here.
Okay.
There you are.
I don't know how many of devotees are on this call or just in the temple room, but I offer my obeisances to all of the new devotees and the past devotees and everybody who's watching. It was wonderful to hear Visvambar. And it was wonderful to go back to New Mayapur when I brought my husband Brajesh now. And that was about, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, but always in our hearts. The beautiful temple room, always, just always in our hearts. Like Mother Kripa said, if we just meditate on Gaura-Nitai, Radha Govinda Madhava, Krishna Balaram, New Mayapur, we are there in our hearts and in our. Am I still on? We're still.
Alors, ces obéissances à tout le monde ici, and we're also offering you all our grateful obeisances to you all.
Thank you.
So we're waiting for all of you. Next time, maybe this summer for the 45th of Krishna Balaram.
For the 50th anniversary of Prabhupada's first arrival in France.
Yeah, first arrival of Prabhupada in France this year in June. So we will get in touch again with you now. And
that was so wonderful.
Yeah, that was the beginning words, Bhagavan, unity. Let's keep our individuality and let's keep chipping off our little problems and become more and more beautiful and make Prabhupada again more and more happy. But this is words, your old Gopa, he's just small guy, just love you and wait for you, need you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
What about Visvambar, Prabhu? Are you there? Ready?
Yeah.
Visvambar, Prabhu. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
You're a missing link.
So, what's next?
You're next.
Oh.
You're already next.
I like to hear from all these other devotees. And why don't you give your experience, Gopaswami? You came very early at New Mayapur.
My experience is only through all of you, honestly. Not only, but big part,
I was so impressed and encouraged by the presence of all you big brothers and big sisters from America and Canada. And I'm missing you. And my experience was, it's still big part is remembrance of you all. So, but the devotees, they want to listen a little to you, Visvambar, and those on the screen also, some words, whatever, just to hear your voice is very soothing. And Gaura-Nitai.
Yeah.
Visvambar was always hesitant to be a leader, but he was a good leader.
You see, Visvambar, he's still pushing you. Please answer.
He was gentle and he was compassionate.
You see, Visvambar, she's still glorifying you.
No, I don't deserve the glorification.
Yeah, Visvambar always hides from his good qualities.
I don't have any, so it's easy to hide. So, Gopaswami, are you going to tell your experience?
Well, everybody's here, they know they know me, they don't want to hear anymore. They want to hear you, if you like. I tell them you are the first temple president here, and working also so hard from the deity department to the garbage, emptying the garbage always with you. And you helped me a lot, when I had little difficult times, I could go and see Visvambar. Hare Krishna. You remember when you went to get Gaura-Nitai at the custom in Paris and bring them here?
Yes, I do remember.
Can you tell something about that when you brought them?
Ouais. Est-ce que je devrais parler en français ou parler en anglais?
En français, oui.
En français.
On reprend en français tous là-bas. Vas-y, Visvambar.
OK. Premièrement, je vais offrir mon hommage à Srila Prabhupada et à tous les Vaishnavas. Ça fait plaisir d'entendre parler de la nouvelle Mayapur, d'entendre les dévots anciens raconter leur histoire telle qu'ils l'ont connue ou telle qu'ils peuvent s'en rappeler. J'ai très peu de souvenirs de l'installation de Sri Gaura-Nitai, mais ce qui reste dans ma mémoire de façon très fixée, que je n'arrive pas à oublier, c'est que le 29 décembre 1975, c'était la pleine lune. Et les murtis sont arrivés, je ne sais pas exactement à quelle date. Franchement, il faudrait que les dévots me rappellent un peu la date exacte. Ce que je me rappelle, c'est que nous étions venus à Paris pour accompagner Sri Gaura-Nitai jusqu'à la nouvelle Mayapur, sachant bien que les dévots étaient en train de tout préparer pour leur arrivée. Quand les murtis sont arrivés à Orly, si je me souviens bien, les douaniers ne comprenaient pas de quoi il s'agissait. 2 grosses caisses en bois. Et donc, ils ont demandé à ce que les dévots ouvrent au moins une des boîtes, et ils ont ouvert la boîte chez Nityananda. Et là, ils ont été tellement surpris par le visage de Nityananda qu'ils ont dit OK, remballez tout, puis passez.
Visvambar, je vais traduire ça pour les dévots qui parlent anglais ici, ils sont vraiment avides.
OK.
Visvambar Prabhu se rappelle comment Visvambar remembers how he went to Paris to get as a custom to get the deities, and how there the people in charge of the custom, they were very bewildered. You know, what are these boxes? What is there? They could not understand what they were explaining. Finally, they opened one box, and when they saw the face of Lord Nityananda, they just were mesmerized, and they closed it back and said, "Okay, you can go, you can go."
Personnellement, avec d'autres dévots, nous attendions au temple de Radha Parisheshwara le soir. Et quand les Nortis sont arrivés de l'aéroport, on les a embarqués dans une van, je crois que c'est une van Citroën, avec un toit ouvrant en haut, une sorte de fenêtre en haut. Et comme c'était le jour de la pleine lune, c'était très clair dans la van. On n'avait pas les cellulaires dans le temps, on a appelé la Nouvelle-Mayapur, c'est OK, nous partons pour la Nouvelle-Mayapur. Le trajet était d'environ 2 heures, 2 heures et demie selon les conditions du trafic.
Donc, they went with a van. There was a window on the top of the van, so it was a full moon day, and therefore it was very clear inside. And they decided not to stay in Paris and immediately come to Mayapur.
Lorsque nous sommes arrivés à la Nouvelle-Mayapur, il y avait déjà un kirtan sur la porte principale du château, mais il n'y avait pas tellement de dévots. Il y avait beaucoup de dévots qui manquaient parce qu'ils étaient engagés à d'autres services. Alors, au lieu de s'arrêter directement devant le château, on a décidé de faire le tour, de retourner sur le chemin de l'Usilma, faire le tour, revenir par le chemin qui reliait de l'autre côté la fameuse factory du docteur de monsieur, j'oublie son nom en tous les cas. Pas grave, on a fait le tour une ou deux fois, je ne me souviens pas exactement. Et plus, à chaque fois qu'on passait, il y avait de plus en plus de dévots qui étaient là pour le kirtan.
Donc, quand ils sont arrivés finalement à la nouvelle Mayapur, il était tard. When they arrived in New Mayapur, it was a little late, and devotees were not so numerous here to greet them because they were engaged in many services. So they went away, go a little around on the road, come back again, a little more devotees are there in front of the castle, and 2-3 times like that. And finally, there were quite some devotees there doing kirtan.
Et lorsqu'on a fait un des tours, je ne sais pas pourquoi, mais inconsciemment, j'ai retiré on avait couvert le visage du Seigneur Nityananda avec des gumshots, pas des gumshots, mais des Harinam chowders. Et puis, je ne sais pas pourquoi, mais je voulais voir le visage de Nityananda, donc j'ai retiré et avec la pleine lune, j'ai vu son visage. Et son visage reste marqué dans ma mémoire, comme je ne peux pas l'oublier.
So he wanted to, going around, waiting for the proper time to arrive here. Finally, he was really wanting to see the face of Lord Nityananda, and which was covered by a cloth, Harinam cloth, and he uncovered the face of Lord Nityananda, which is forever embedded in his mind. We'll never forget that. With the full moon, the light of the full moon on the face of Lord Nityananda.
Il y a deux choses très marquante pour la nouvelle Mayapur. C'est la première fois que Srila Prabhupada est arrivé, comme Bhagavan l'a expliqué. Prabhupada, en débarquant de la voiture, il y a un dévot qui lui a dit bienvenue à la nouvelle Bahulashvan. On voulait l'appeler Bahulashvan. Et Prabhupada a dit This is New Mayapur. Et il a planté sa canne en plein milieu de la France. Il a dit ça, c'est la nouvelle Mayapur ici.
Visvambar se rappelle une chose, c'est que lorsqu'ils sont arrivés ici, ils avaient when they arrived here, they had named Bhagavan. Yeah, New Bhagavan. When Prabhupada arrived, he put his cane on the ground and he said, "This is New Mayapur."
Et de la même façon, lorsque le Seigneur Nityananda, du moins dans mon appréciation de la chose, quand le Seigneur Nityananda est arrivé, on sait qu'il est le maître spirituel universel. Et à ce moment-là, je m'étais dit, mais Srila Prabhupada ne s'est pas trompé, quoi. Parce que maintenant, voici le Seigneur suprême lui-même qui arrive sur les lieux et que cet endroit est un endroit sacré et il le restera pour toujours.
And Srila Prabhupada was not making any mistake. He knew that Lord Nityananda is the original and supreme spiritual master. And he's studying in here now. This place is a very sacred place which will remain forever for a very long time, forever.
L'installation a eu lieu soit le lendemain ou le jour d'après, mais je me souviens très bien que les dévots ne dormaient pas. Moi, j'essayais de dormir et ils venaient frapper à la porte tout le temps. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait pour ci? Qu'est-ce qu'on fait pour ça? C'était comme une ruche d'abeilles en effervescence. Tous les dévots étaient engagés pour préparer l'installation de chez Nityananda Goswami.
L'installation s'est faite rapidement après. Installation was done a little later after. All devotees were so much engaged. Visvambar remembers that he was trying to sleep, but nobody was sleeping. He was himself trying to sleep, but all the devotees were coming to him, asking for this and for that. And everybody was in transcendental plane for the installation.
Donc, l'autre jour, lorsque Gopaswami Prabhu m'a téléphoné pour m'annoncer que le festival du 45e anniversaire de l'installation de Gaura-Nitai allait prendre place, ça m'a rappelé combien les dévots ont dû lutter pour préserver ce lieu sacré que Srila Prabhupada a installé au milieu de la France. Et dans mon idée à moi, c'est une future citadelle de la religion pour toute la France et toute l'Europe, parce que d'abord c'est un lieu merveilleux. Les murtis sont absolument merveilleuses et je vois que maintenant on m'annonce que les dévots reprennent goût, les jeunes, la nouvelle génération, la deuxième, troisième génération, qui vont faire beaucoup plus que ce que nous, la première génération, on a pu faire. Et le succès de la nouvelle Mayapur, si on regarde dans le futur, on disait tout à l'heure que le futur est déjà prédestiné et que Krishna connaît ce futur-là. Et moi, j'essaie de voir que la nouvelle Mayapur va être un lieu sacré et une source d'enseignement pour le reste de la civilisation qui sont véritablement troublés aujourd'hui.
Jai Visvambar. So, Visvambar, when we asked him to come and give us some memories, he really remembered New Mayapur as this very sacred place installed by Srila Prabhupada. And now he hears that young, new generation are taking up again the leadership, and that is confident that New Mayapur will manifest itself now even more to
to become this very sacred place which the world needs so much today. And we also appreciate how all the devotees during so many years work so hard in very difficult conditions to maintain this place. And appreciating that very much.
La France est fameuse pour la construction de grandes cathédrales. Et moi, j'entrevois le service des dévots, chaque dévot étant un artisan en train de construire la nouvelle Mayapur. Peut-être que dans ce corps-ci, on ne verra pas la gloire de la nouvelle Mayapur, mais le jour va venir grâce pas tellement à cause de la quantité de service, mais par la sincérité des dévots qui font du service régulièrement. Ils servent la myrtille, ils cultivent la terre, ils s'occupent des vaches, ils font pousser des fleurs. Chaque dévot, à sa façon, est en train de reconstruire la nouvelle Mayapur. Et c'est vrai que je rejoins mes sœurs en Dieu, mes frères en Dieu, en disant on aimerait pouvoir être la nouvelle Mayapur et voir comment les choses sont en train d'évoluer. C'est une merveilleuse occasion que de célébrer chez Gaura-Nitai parce que on leur doit notre vie spirituelle, on leur doit notre existence même, quoi.
We hold our very life and spiritual life to Gaura-Nitai, New Mayapur, such an extraordinarily wonderful place. And it is with all the sincere endeavors of the devotees now that things will develop for sure, not necessarily with the quantity of service, but with their sincerity, all of them worshipping the deities, plowing the land, growing flowers, taking care of the cows. And yeah, Hare Krishna.
Mes hommages à tous les dévots de la nouvelle Mayapur. Vancha kapitaro vyascha kripa sindhu vyaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Visvambar Prabhu, Mother Kripa, Bhagavan, Mother Krsna Bhamini, Mother Bogini, we not only offer you our humble obeisances, but also maybe in a more practical way, gratefulness will be expressed to you by maintaining and trying to improve your new Mayapur. That's how you can be rewarded for having given the best years of your life to Srila Prabhupada here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Our obeisances to you.
Mother Visesa is here. She wants to speak a little now. No, she doesn't want to speak, but we pushed her a little.
Comment je laisse comme ça. Hi, Bob, everyone. I'm so happy to see you all. I can't believe it. I will say like Gopaswami, every one of you was training me. I owe you a lot, all of you. So nice. So, me, I remember then Visvambar and Bhagavan carried the deities in for the installation. There is a little film, but we couldn't find it back. I see one. And the two of you carried the Gaura-Nitai inside to the basin place, which was behind here on the side of the women. You were the one. And at that time, just when I got Krishna Kata, she was 2 weeks when this happened. So I was just coming out of the hospital. I was a young man. I'm not so involved with the deities yet, but I remember seeing that Natalie was the head puchari. I contacted her and she she told me that she dressed Nityananda and Kanti dressed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That day, I think they were in green and purple. And I remember, that one I remember singing is Radhika Ramana doing the first arti after the curtain opened, because he had a ripped dhoti, you know, he was in his Avadita mood. And what I remember very well is, because it was Bhaktisiddhanta disappearance day, like today, and so we do simultaneous artik, and I was by the Vyasa and Visvambar Prabhu, you were doing the artik. Yeah, because I speak to you, it's why I speak in English. And c'est trop compliqué, moi je sais pas faire de classe. So you were doing the artik to Bhaktisiddhanta and you were sleeping, because you had been working day and night and day and night, and you were sleeping. No, you were sleeping. You were sleeping doing the chama. And I was thinking, oh my God, he worked so hard, and he can do the chama when he's sleeping. Because I had some friends, some Karmic friends who came. We invite them from Amsterdam. It's why I have 2 or 3 photos. And they took photos. They arrived the night before, and me, I was just out of the hospital, so I was not in the temple room then. But they said they arrived at midnight, and you were putting the chandelier on. They were amazed. They were saying, "You sure it's tomorrow, your festival? You know, we arrive and they're putting the light on." And it was very, very cold because, yeah, you just put the marble down. And I don't know if you all remember, but you cut the heater of the whole temple. So we could put the marble under the heater, under the radiator. So because you had to remove the radiator, the whole temple, the bâtiment too, the whole house was cold, freezing cold for a week. I mean, I had a wood stove in my little place, but the devotee in the temple, it was so cold. Yeah, it was very cold. There was snow when I came out of the hospital. It was a very cold year. But I remember the devotee worked very, very hard. And you, Visvambar, and you, Bhagavan, you worked really hard at building those altar, and then Manibunda did the walls and the doors. And yeah, I think the seamstress were Kanta and Kanti, and Sitala a little bit, but she was in India and not in India at that time. And she doesn't remember, we spoke a lot lately, she doesn't remember the actual installation, or maybe she was in the kitchen like Bogini says. No, she didn't see anything. And it was fantastic because so many devotees came, and actually now we have Janananda Maharaj here, and I didn't even remember he was here. He told me, yeah, I was there and everything, but devotees came from England and from Italy and from, I think, comment c'était, la Suisse, Switzerland, they came also. But it was really, really cool. But we had huge kirtan, fantastic kirtan in that temple room. Well, missing all your kirtans, guys. You can't come back. But now everyone can come back for Krsna Bhamini in the summer. It will be really nice to have everyone back. But I agree with Visvambar that things, I really like that point that actually it's everyone, all little endeavor, little service here and there, which make the whole thing happening. And yeah, it will continue, it's for sure. For a long time, I thought those deities were mine, but they're there for thousands of years. And there will be thousands of other devotees here, and it will just continue. But everyone who did a little bit, or a lot, a lot, some did a lot. And it's all there. It's in the notebook somewhere. So I thank you for all your service before and all what you gave to me. when I was a young devotee. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Visesa Prabhu ki jai.
Shesha.
Nice, huh? To hear. Hare Krishna. We have Janananda Maharaj who want to say a few more words on the some details of this installation. He was there. Where is
Hare Krishna. I don't know if any of you remember me or if you're familiar with me. I was basically in England during this period, and we had the good fortune of coming over for that particular week of the installation of Shri Gaura-Nitai. We rented one vehicle, and 7 of us, or 8 of us, came over. This is our first ever visit to Mayapur, of course. And it was so, I can say, there's something out of this world. And I have a few remembrances related to the marble, related to the cold, and related to the incredible dedicated service of the devotees here. I think one of the most inspiring things on our visit here was to see, and I couldn't remember the names of the devotees, but I do remember Bhagavan, Prabhu, how he was, from our perspective, was working 24/7 for days to prepare for the installation of Gaura-Nitai. It really inspired all of us very much to see that samadhi, Prabhu called samadhi, and it was just an amazing experience. As some of the devotees have mentioned, I think Bogini mentioned the wonderful cold experience of the marble floor, which is still here. It's probably not as cold as it used to be. We do have heating here by Gaura-Nitai's grace most of the time, but the marble floor is still quite cold. But it was really cold, and I'll tell you my experience with the cold marble floor. I doubt that anyone can remember the fact that somehow or another, I don't know how, but I was asked to take part in the installation in a very small role. The bell ringer, as you know, a bell ringer. I had to stand there. I remember Visvambar Prabhu, I don't know if he was bathing Nityananda or what, I don't know. I was stood next to Nityananda the whole time through the installation ceremony. I had to stand still with no socks on the marble floor, and it was really cold, and I was ringing the bell for, it seemed like eternity, ringing the bell. And my feet, everyone else was dancing during the kirtan, and it was ecstatic that I couldn't move. My feet had gone totally blue, and they were like leather pads at the end of my legs. I couldn't move for about an hour practically. I couldn't feel my feet. It was an amazing experience. It was really Lord Nityananda's mercy. I never forget that. How he bestowed that special mercy. And why I came back, Visesa said, yeah. Somehow or another, Lord Nityananda brought me back to France. I visited quite a few times in the 70s. And then I was away from Europe for about 30 years. But the last 10 years or so, we've been regularly having the good fortune of their merciful glance and Vaishnavas here. And all due to your kindness and your dedication that we're here. And the devotees who've maintained Mayapur in between. Another aspect of the coldness, which nobody's mentioned, they mentioned the blizzard, the freezing cold, sleet, snow that was pelting down outside and the wind. But with the wonderful, we complain now sometimes about the bathing facilities, but I'll never forget those bathing facilities in New Mayapur in 1975. The indelible impression on my heart. I thought, I don't need to go to Gangotri or Jamunotri anymore. We've experienced it right here in New Mayapur. As we happily ran down the stairs to take our bath from the upper floor where the brahmacharis were staying. We ran into the basement in total ecstasy to get ready for Mangal Arti, and I have never taken a quicker shower in my life. It took about 10 seconds. We pulled the chain, and a gush of ice-cold water crashed onto the head. Boom! It was ecstatically cold. And it was an amazing experience, I really must say. It was, I can never forget those showers in the basement in Mayapur in 1975. And the wonderful enthusiasm of the devotees, as we've heard, the kirtan was just off the floor, completely in the air. The devotees were just ecstatic, but I was stuck on the floor with my dead feet. What to do? But it was a wonderful, wonderful festival, and the inspiration of Bhagavan Prabhu and Visvambar Prabhu and all the devotees. I can't remember their names. I didn't know anybody. But it was just so enlightening, and something which stuck with me, and realized that actually if we focus our attention on the service of the deity of Gaura-Nitai and Srila Prabhupada, their representative, nothing is impossible. Sleep, eating, everything becomes something which happens or doesn't happen, but it's like, it's not a priority. The priority is them, is their pleasure. And they can empower anyone if we surrender to their service like that. And I experienced that here in New Mayapur, the wonderful dedication of the devotees here in New Mayapur at that time. I'd like to thank all of you too, because obviously you're all here giving your heart and soul to New Mayapur, to the service of Prabhupada here, and the deities here. We're just here now. I'm just here eating and sleeping most of the time. And they don't know what I'm doing up there, in my room. I'm just eating all night. But whatever it is, Hare Krishna, thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Indradyumna.
There's no equal to Janananda Maharaj service today other than what you did 45 years ago. Same intensity, very miraculous, I can tell, really. Just now we finished the book marathon, and thousands of French Bhagavad Gitas have been distributed again this year. First time after so many years. And the new Mayapur roof of the castle is being repaired now. The water tower also. The wood Gurukul building serves as a guest house, 45 rooms. For today it's full, and there is a heater there, and it's full. And we are plowing the fields. We are planning for cows. Anyway, just one little thing I can say. Oh no, not what I would say. I see one name down there. Saint Manjari is here. Are you there, Manjari? Can you hear us, or can you tell us something, please? We miss you also.
Hare Krishna.
Hey, you're gonna make us cry. This is too much.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is so amazing. It feels surreal. Please accept my most affectionate pranams to all the Vaishnavas there, and thank you so much to everybody for keeping Mayapur going and taking such beautiful care of Gaura-Nitai. I wish I was there with you. So beautiful. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, very much.
So I don't have that much to share. I just wow, what time is it there? Okay, so wow, I'm looking around. I don't even hardly recognize anyone except for, is that Krishna Charna there in the back, or Shamakun Visesa? There's Visesa. Wow. Okay, so, well, I certainly recognize my deities. In fact, I think I'm the same age as them, almost. Maybe they're a little older than me. But I remember very, very clearly when they came. We had a huge kirtan for them. It was the most exciting thing in the whole world, in our world at the time, that Gaura-Nitai were going to be arriving. And we had a huge kirtan and went down to the car, and they were being lifted out of the car in the crates, and then they opened the crates and we looked inside, and it was literally, oh, look at them. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I never thought my life would be so far away. You all are so fortunate. Look at that. Wow. So beautiful. Amazing. It was my childhood dream. I only ever thought when anyone would say to me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I just wanted to be a pujari on the altar, dress them and take care of them. So this is so beautiful. Yeah. And then we didn't have all those deities there at the time, you know, it was just Gaura-Nitai. They were the first. I remember before the temple room was even made, they were working on the floor. I actually fell through the floor. And my father, Manibanda, making the altar. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like how it looks now. But slowly, slowly, just watching the transformation of the castle from like a dark old haunted castle turning into Mayapur, new Mayapur. And when they finally appeared on the altar, it was like, that was a game changer, you know, it was just a game changer. The personalities had appeared. It was an eclipse. The night that they arrived, it was an eclipse. And finally, when they were, hey, there's my mataji, I see her. When they were placed on the altar, it was like, I don't know, the spirits just completely lifted, not just for us who were there, but I think for all the spirits that had ever come through that land of that chateau. I mean, we used to find funny things. I found one time we were playing out in the back, Hara and I, and we found a coffin and like a skeleton there. Anyways, they arrived by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, beautiful Gaura-Nitai. They were our best childhood friends. And there they were dancing on the altar, and the whole atmosphere suddenly came to life. They were the first ones, you know, of all the deities. I think, I don't remember if they arrived before Srila Prabhupada's first arrival to New Mayapur or not, but it was all I can say is from the moment their beautiful dancing feet arrived there, it completely changed the entire energy of that place. I used to get ghostly haunted before that. And then when Gaura-Nitai came, yeah, you just run into the temple room, and there they were with their beautiful smiling faces and their arms up. And I mean, even though in one way I've been separated by distance for so long, it's an amazing time we live in now, where we can have daily darshans and, you know, keep in touch and
14 years old.
See the videos,
12.
see the beautiful new outfits. And, you know, I love that Visesa was asking if devotees have any pictures, any old pictures, it made me start to go through. I do have more. I have to dig them up, but just start to go through my files. I remember back in the day, anytime I would collect any 1 franc, 2 francs, I would save them up so I could go to Vishnu Rata and buy. He would take these beautiful pictures of the deities, so I could go to Vishnu Rata and buy pictures of Gaura-Nitai. And then, of course, Krishna and Balaram came, and that was just the most incredible thing. Srila Prabhupada installing them. You know, all I can say is they're my family. They're my childhood best friends. And, you know, they've witnessed all our tears and all our prayers, and they're in our hearts. And they, you know, we think that New Mayapur needs us and that they need us, but it's just a trick. We're the ones that need them. So anyways, I'm so grateful to all you, and thank you for inviting us and including us and helping us to continue to feel like we, you know, like we're part of the New Mayapur crew, even though I'm not doing much. But yeah, once again, thank you. My Dandavat pranams to all of you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hey, Jai Manjari. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Better than before and maybe better after again. So, you know, anyway. Okay, I say just 2 quick words. We also have a registered audio of Indradyumna Swami for 10 minutes. So if you like to stay with us also for that. I got also in touch with Janananda, who just told me that he remembers the extraordinary kirtan for this installation. And he said it was like one of the most ecstatic kirtan he ever did. He said even Guru Gauranga, he was so serious and administrative like that. He just, you know, forgot completely himself and dived into the ecstasy of the kirtan for Gaura-Nitai. Okay, what I remember, the call. What was the call? I can, you know this song, you know, Padakamala, Koti Chanda, Shushitala. Lord Nityananda is soothing, calming down like millions of moonshine. Very cool. So probably, you know, he managed to appear with this very cooling atmosphere in this burning hot revolutionary yatra of France. And one thing I remember when they arrived, are they still there? Okay, so when they arrived here, when you drove them with a van, we were waiting, it became dark. And it was, we knew already, it was announced as the news, there was a lunar eclipse the day they arrived in Mayapur. And finally, when you arrived, we were on the threshold of the castle, and we saw the van arriving in darkness, and we got the boxes in front, put them in front, we opened the box, and at the time I was there, just the time we opened the boxes and we behold the faces of Gaura-Nitai, boom, there was this lunar eclipse appearance, you know. So it was very, yeah, it's a very special place in Mayapur, and it's your place. We're waiting for you. I mean, we, of course, but I know that Gaura-Nitai, Krishna Balaram, Radha Govinda Madhava, and Srila Prabhupada on his Visesa, they will welcome you, and you have all our love. Thank you for this, creating this united family that we are working on now to maintain and improve with a lot of useful energy, very promising. So maybe now we can hear about the words registered by Indradyumna Swami. Are you ready?
Oh, and after that, after Indradyumna Swami, we will have a slideshow picture at the time of the installation also.
Hare Krishna, devotees in Nouvelle Mayapur, en France. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Vitale Shrati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Nalane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Visesa Shunyavadi Pasitade Shatande. So I'm very grateful and very honored to have been asked to speak to all of you distinguished devotees today at New Mayapur. Of course, this opportunity gives me, it's like a flood of memories actually that come back to my time spent at the chateau there with our beautiful deities of Gaura-Nitai and Bhagavan and Krsna Bhamini, and many of the historic events that have taken place there. Most notably, of course, Srila Prabhupada's visits to Paris and New Mayapur. There were several visits, I believe, and of course, the very fact that our community there was the desire of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, something very significant. The project there is actually a manifestation of His heart. And I would like to commend all the devotees, past, present, and future, who've contributed to the history of that very wonderful community. Today, we're celebrating the installation of our beautiful Gaura-Nitai deities. I believe this was 1975, like 45 years ago. How quickly time goes by. I can't remember everything in 1975, but I remember that the installation was on a very cold day. I believe it actually snowed a few days before the installation there. And prior to my being the temple president of New Mayapur, a number of years, I would come and go. I'd go out with one of the Sankirtan parties. And I spent most of my time in the countryside, traveling and distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. But I always look forward to coming back to the sanctity and the purity of New Mayapur. And it was a wonderful celebration installing Gaura-Nitai, knowing how dear it was to Srila Prabhupada. I was thinking the other day when Srila Prabhupada went to Gainesville, I believe it was Gainesville, Florida in the 1970s to install Gaura-Nitai. At that time, Srila Prabhupada commented, or he noted actually, an interesting angle. He said that it's very wonderful that Gaura-Nitai have come to Gainesville, which is so far from their home. What is the home of Gaura-Nitai? Obviously, it's Nadia, Navadvip, Mayapur. That's where the Lord made His divine appearance. So Prabhupada noted that it was interesting that they had come so far away to Gainesville, Florida. And he appreciated that. In the same way, we can appreciate that Gaura-Nitai came from so far away in Mayapur to their Nouvelle Mayapur in France. Prabhupada gave that name. That's very dear to all of us. He personally gave the name for the community. He wanted that community. Actually went out and, historically he went around France in a car looking at properties, and he chose New Mayapur, La Domaine d'Oblaise, personally. So this is all very significant. So he gave his blessings for our installing Gaura-Nitai, and later, of course, he personally came and installed Krsna Bhamini. So that's significant. Of course, it was predicted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself that one day his holy names would go to every town and village of the world. So that was ordained, that was going to happen, whatever the Lord says. He's such a sankalpa. Whatever he says, it will come to pass. But to reinforce, you could say, that prediction, to give devotees strength, he appeared in the form of his murti, his deities, all around the world, including our beautiful community of New Mayapur. That's significant. Prabhupada calls the deities Archa Vigraha. Archa Vigraha literally means the mercy incarnation of the Lord, for many reasons. One is that Krishna comes and goes. He comes from Goloka to the material world. He's been, 148 years on this planet. Mahaprabhu spent 48 years on this planet. Then they go back to the spiritual world. But they're in their deity form, which is not different, they stay. They don't leave. There's even deities on this planet that were installed in Satya Yuga. So Archa Vigraha. So to give the French yatra enthusiasm for spreading his holy name all over that country, Gaura-Nitai came to France, and they stayed there ever since. And it's very nice that you've been taking very good care of all the deities there through good times and through difficult times. It's not easy to push forward a spiritual movement in the material world. There's going to be obstacles, but many of you have stayed there through thick and thin since the beginning. And I think just for that sacrifice, just for that dedicated service, you're going back home, back to God. It is guaranteed. So we wish you all continued success in your worship of those deities. I think one of the successes of New Mayapur is that it's maintained, it's remained there for so many years now, is the fact that you're taking care of the deities so nicely. I think that's a principle in Krishna consciousness. Krishna comes first. And if Krishna is satisfied, we're all satisfied. And if Krishna is taken care of nicely, then he'll also take care of his devotees, whatever. Yogikshema Mahamyam. For my devotees, Krishna says, I provide what they need, and I protect what they have, and I provide what they need. So that's a good example of that is New Mayapur. That community has remained there. I remember there was a challenge some years ago that we were not able to maintain that, perhaps, and had to leave. His Holiness, the true Maharaj, stepped forward and raised a lot of funds necessary to keep the community. So this is the real history of the world. So continue worshiping all the deities there. We also have Lakshmi Nrsimha, and we have Giriraj Govardhan. This is all very deep in my memory, my heart. So please continue with that wonderful service. And we a special thanks these days to His Holiness Janananda Maharaj, who by Shishirada Govinda Madhava, by their plan, he ended up there during the lockdown. Krishna locked us down in different parts of the world. We may have thought, I'd rather be here, I'd rather be there, but we can see that where we are was his plan, and we're serving accordingly. So Govinda Madhava and Gaura-Nitai and Krishna Bhamini, I think they have a plan in keeping Maharaj there, Janananda Maharaj. And I've been watching the videos, how he's, and the photographs of how he's out on Sankirtan distributing books, etc. So he's a wonderful leader, and you've been very fortunate to have him there to guide you through these traumatic times. So yeah, this is a special day, remembering. Of course, it just reminds me of Sankirtan, because it's the whole mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His mood and Prabhupada's mood was to share Krishna consciousness. So I remember all my days on Sankirtan and Le Breton in the north, Lille and Alsace-Lorraine, et le sud de France, Montpellier, Avignon, Nice. I remember sometimes I have dreams actually about those places because those are some of the best days of my life in Krishna consciousness. And I remember all my compatriots who I used to do Sankirtan with. I hope they're well and happy in Krishna consciousness. That was real friendship, going out and preaching together. So you have the best of the best, la crème de la crème. You have the most beautiful deities in the world. You have a beautiful chateau. And you have the whole country there to preach to. It looks like people are very favorable these days towards Krishna consciousness. So please continue as you are. And I'm sure that you will receive the full blessings of Shishivara, Govinda Madhava, Krishna Balaram, and our beautiful Gaura-Nitai, who were installed on this day in 1975. I feel very honored to have been part of the French Yatra, and I look forward to coming back for a visit. So I'm all of you and getting your wonderful association. So thank you so much for Visesa, for constantly reminding me to make this video. I think that it's such a significant event. I would have come actually had not been for the pandemic, but at least this is something I can make a small contribution to your great efforts to maintain and continue spreading the glories of all these beautiful deities at the Nouvelle Mayapur. I still have my French accent. It's actually amazing. I did Sankirtan for so many years there. I never learned the language. It just shows us the miracle of Krishna consciousness. So thank you. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt. Tout quoi, Ashura Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
All the ways to all the temple presidents of Mayapur. I hope you are still, you are still there. There's going to be a slideshow now, but I had a little word, we gave you some nice words, and this and that. You owe us a little more now. You have been chosen by Krishna to serve here in Srila Prabhupada at the beginning. So we are servants of the servants. So we need to do anything. We need the blessings of our predecessors. So please bless all the devotees here, young and old, or not so young, so that we can continue your service, and hopefully we can greet you here as soon as possible. So thank you for your blessings. We need that, and I'm sure that Krishna and Prabhupada are listening to you. So now this is Lochanananda Prabhu, one of our 3 temple presidents, and it's just Krishna's mercy that we got them,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Could I say a few words here?
Okay.
I wanted to remember Bhakti Charu Swami at this moment, if you want to translate.
So, Bhagavan Prabhu voudrait rajouter quelques mots en la mémoire et l'honneur de Bhakti Charu Swami.
I understand from my friend Guru Garanga that he was a major help when New Mayapur was going through its financial pandemic.
So, il a appris que Bhakti Charu Swami avait été d'une grande aide lorsque la nouvelle Mayapur a eu des gros problèmes financiers.
And it brings to mind a lesson that Srila Prabhupada said at some point in his time with us.
Cela me rappelle une leçon, un enseignement que je Prabhupada me donnait à un certain moment.
That there may be a time we are completely alone.
Il se peut qu'un jour nous soyons totalement seuls.
I remember years ago when I was in San Francisco and I experienced our first earthquake, the major earthquake that was there. And I was completely separated from my kids, my friends. Everyone was isolated during this earthquake.
J'ai fait l'expérience d'un tremblement de terre à San Francisco un jour et ce fut une expérience d'isolement total. J'étais séparé de tous mes amis, mes enfants, ma famille.
A major bridge had collapsed and crushed many people just in a moment.
En quelques instants, tout s'écroulait. Il y a un pont qui s'est écroulé emportant beaucoup de monde.
And I was all alone in the basement of a building.
Et moi, j'étais tout seul dans le sous-sol d'un immeuble.
So Prabhupada was explaining that one day you may not have the luxury of sitting in the beautiful temple and facing the deities and maybe not even having a book to read.
Et Prabhupada expliquait que peut-être qu'un jour, nous n'aurions pas le luxe de nous retrouver devant dans un temple merveilleux, dans les Murtis, ou même peut-être sans livre.
And at that time, you may have to have the ability through your bhakti yoga to create the deity in your mind.
Et ce sera peut-être même aussi difficile, même mentalement, par le bhakti yoga, de revoir les Murtis.
And you may have to offer the food in your mind, and you may have to remember the verses that you're able to remember.
Et vous n'aurez peut-être pas de nourriture à ce moment-là pour les nourrir.
So I just wanted to bring to your attention with Bhakti Charu Maharaj that he flew over from India. He had contacted the
Donc Bhakti Charu Swami il est venu comme ça, il a pris l'avion et il a fait un arrêt à Boston. Il s'est arrêté chez des dévots et là il a contracté la maladie du coronavirus.
Oh my God, I want to hear the rest.
Okay, here we are. Okay, Bhagavan is back. No?
Okay.
Yes.
I hear you.
So we heard that, we remember when Bhakti Charu Swami flew to Boston and contacted the virus there.
Okay, can I continue?
Yes, please.
So just try to picture that for some reason or other, Krishna brought Bhakti Charu, who had contacted this disease from India, to Boston, where other people he came in contact with also had it. And then he went to Orlando, where my friend Guru Garanga, his disciple, picked him up at the airport. Can you hear me?
Yes, I translate. So Bhakti Charu Swami went from India to Boston, en français, oui, to Boston, puis il a contacté là chez les amis, chez les dévots, et ensuite il est allé à Orlando. Il a été reçu par un des disciples, un des amis de Bhagavan, un des disciples de Bhakti Swami qui s'appelle Bhagavan.
So from that point, he started developing symptoms and he went into the hospital.
Et là, il a commencé à manifester les signes de la maladie et il a été emmené à l'hôpital.
So as a sannyasi, you have to make everywhere you land into a temple.
En tant que sannyasi, où que l'on atterrisse, il faut transformer cet endroit-là en temple,
including your deathbed.
y compris si vous atterrissez sur votre lit de mort.
So if you all can imagine, I know this is a blissful day, but since Bhakti Charu Maharaj was a big help for all of you and us, just think about the fact that here is a guru who used to have many thousands of disciples around.
Et vous pouvez donc imaginer un petit peu Bhakti Charu Swami, un gourou qui avait des milliers de disciples partout dans le monde.
And all of a sudden, there are no disciples around. No one to chant Hare Krishna to you on your deathbed.
Et tout d'un coup, il se retrouve tout seul, plus aucun disciple autour, personne pour lui chanter Hare Krishna à côté de lui sur son lit de mort.
And in that condition, you have to draw on everything that you've ever learned or remembered in order to make your exit.
Et c'est dans une telle situation qu'il faut alors faire revenir tous les souvenirs qui vous permettront de réussir votre sortie.
So this was the gift of Prabhupada, to the great gift, to always stand prepared.
C'est cela aussi le cadeau de Prabhupada, le grand cadeau de Prabhupada, d'être toujours prêt pour ce moment-là.
Prabhupada used to tell a story about a martial arts teacher who would come and attack his students while they were sleeping.
Prabhupada donnait souvent cet exemple d'un professeur d'art martial qui attaquait justement ses élèves lorsqu'ils dormaient pour les préparer.
And in their sleep, they had to be aware of the wind of his movement and immediately wake up.
Et dans le sommeil, ils apprenaient à toujours être sensibles au mouvement de l'air que cela pouvait produire lorsque le maître arrivait et être prêt à se réveiller instantanément.
So whatever your training, remember that Prabhupada would always stress that death can come at any moment. You can be old when you're born. You can be old at 5 years old. You can be old at 50, 20, 60. Old is defined as the moment right before you die.
Donc Prabhupada nous a souvent préparé à cela en disant bien qu'on peut être vieux au moment même où on est, ou quand on a 5 ans, ou 20 ans, ou 60 ans, ou peu importe. Mais le moment de mourir, c'est notre moment où on est le plus vieux.
So if you can take a moment and visualize Maharaj, who helped New Mayapur very much, not only being alone, but not even being able to breathe.
Et donc, rappelez-vous donc de Bhakti Charu Swami, qui a tellement aidé la nouvelle Mayapur et qui s'est retrouvé non seulement seul, mais en même temps, il ne pouvait même plus respirer normalement.
And understand that sannyas position is not just a formal position. It's a position that everyone, man or woman, has to draw on at some point.
Et soyons donc conscients que cette situation de sannyasi n'est pas quelque chose de formel seulement, c'est une situation dans laquelle tous, hommes ou femmes, devra connaître.
So here was a sannyasi separated from his beautiful temple, like New Mayapur, that he had in India. All that he had done to end up in a very strange place, Orlando, Florida, in a hospital where no one could visit, and tried to maintain a consciousness, even though he was seemingly unconscious, to remember and go through a massive disorientation of the physical body.
Et donc, Krsna Bhamini, après avoir ce maître spirituel qui avait construit des temples partout, son temple en Inde, et avec tous ses disciples, et il se retrouve ainsi dans un hôpital, à Orlando quelque part, dans un hôpital tout seul, devoir maintenir sa conscience, même si apparemment il ne l'est plus vraiment.
And from that example, ask yourself, if that happens to me now, at this very moment, will I be able to remember anything spiritual that will help me cross over?
Et donc, on doit se demander si ça peut arriver n'importe quand, et si ça m'arrivait à cet instant, est-ce que je serais capable tout seul dans cette situation de me souvenir de quelque chose de spirituel?
So for his great contribution that allows all of you to sit in that beautiful temple room today, just remember that courage that he had to face as a sannyasi, all alone, with nothing but strange people all around him.
Donc, vous tous qui est maintenant, grâce à lui aussi, présent dans cette très belle salle de temple, voilà, pensez à lui qui s'est retrouvé dans cette situation-là, tout seul, dans un endroit avec des gens étranges autour de lui.
And that is one of the yoga cities of Bhakti Yoga, to be able to remember.
C'est l'un des pouvoirs mystiques offerts par le Bhakti Yoga, d'obtenir cette capacité de se souvenir.
Smaranam.
C'est ça le smaranam.
Yeah. So there is a real life example happening to someone connected to New Mayapur that helps us remember during these times that Krishna's mercy takes sometimes strange and unusual forms.
Donc voilà un exemple très concret, très vivant de quelqu'un qui est très chèrement relié à la nouvelle Mayapur et qui montre que la miséricorde de Krishna peut se manifester des fois sous des aspects inattendus.
We just recently had a close friend of mine pass away, and recently Ram Das, the artist, and he got a stroke in Italy, just like that.
Il y a le cas d'un de mes amis proches également, Ramdas, l'artiste, qui était aussi à la Nouvelle Mayapur il y a 3 ans ici, et il a eu un attaque cérébrale d'un seul coup.
His paintings and his wife, Dridi, they grace pretty much all the temples in ISKCON and all the books.
Et les peintures qu'ils ont exécutées avec son épouse Driti, on les voit un peu partout dans les temples de l'ISKCON.
And while he was in Italy vacationing with his wife, they had a pretty much 100% blissful life into their 60s. Everything always art and beauty. And one night he was holding his head, had a little headache, and in the morning, he had a stroke and remained unconscious.
Et les voilà tous les deux finalement en vacances en Italie. Tout est merveilleux. Jusqu'à 60 ans, ils ont eu une vie marquée par la beauté, le bonheur, et un petit peu mal à la tête le soir. Le lendemain matin, il fait un AVC, un attaque cérébral, et il devient inconscient.
And that was very hard for his partner to understand how Krishna works in these ways.
Et ce fut très difficile pour sa compagne de comprendre dans cette circonstance comment Krishna a fait tout cela.
It seems like someone said, the good ones die early and the demons last forever.
Ça rappelle ce dicton, enfin cette pensée classique, les gentils sont le problème et les méchants s'en tirent bien.
So imagine someone I always used to call Ram Dass a Renaissance man. He could play any instrument, paint, sculpt, anything you could imagine. And Krishna decided to cut that blank in a moment.
J'appelais souvent Ramdas, mon ami, comme étant l'homme de la Renaissance. Il pouvait peindre, jouer des instruments de musique, faire plein de choses comme cela. Et d'un seul coup, instantanément, Krishna a stoppé tout cela.
I think there has never been a more talented disciple of Prabhupada than Ram Dass.
Je ne pense pas qu'il y ait eu un disciple qui avait plus de talent, un disciple de Prabhupada qui avait plus de talent que lui.
And such devotees remind us that the solution to all this chaos around us, the solution, the panacea, the medicine, is to create beauty.
Et je pense à cet égard que la solution qui est devant nous à ce chaos d'aujourd'hui, c'est de créer la beauté.
There are many people throughout the world that are practicing yoga now, and their dedication to their practice and the amazing asanas that they can do with their body are truly beautiful.
Il y a beaucoup de gens aujourd'hui qui pratiquent une forme ou une autre de yoga et à travers leur pratique, ils arrivent à faire avec leur corps des choses vraiment belles.
But compared to the kirtan and the prasadam, and the deity worship, that's another, and the philosophy and the books and the heart presence, knowing that God is a male and a female personality, that's a different level of beauty. And he was able to paint that, sing that, but like we were saying about Bhakti Charu, that can end in a moment.
Ramdas pouvait peindre une autre forme de beauté, c'est celle apportée par le Bhakti Yoga, la beauté des kirtans, la beauté des prasad, la beauté des murtis, l'adoration des murtis, la philosophie. Cette beauté-là, Ramdas aussi pouvait la dépeindre. Et Krishna a arrêté ce service-là d'un seul coup.
So that is the test of whether at that moment we ask, why are you doing this to me? Versus, I'm ready.
C'est le test, le vrai test. Voilà. Est-ce que, lorsque Krishna nous attend, est-ce que tu fais tout cela vraiment pour moi? Est-ce que tu es prêt?
So in this world, Prabhupada taught to always expect the unexpected.
Ainsi que Prabhupada nous a enseigné à toujours nous attendre à l'inattendu.
The person sitting next to you right now in the temple, you may never see again.
La personne qui se trouve maintenant assise à côté de vous dans le temple, peut-être que vous n'en reverrez plus.
So, in remembering Bhakti Charu Maharaj and all that he did and all that he had to endure in the end, and talents like Ram Dass, we thank our Guru Maharajas and teachings to be ready to step on the head of death and move forward.
Et ainsi, se rappelant tout ce qu'ont pu faire, si chacun dans son domaine, les dévots comme Bhakti Charu Maharaj et Ramdas, grâce à notre Guru Maharaj et notre pratique, à se tenir prêt pour marcher sur la tête de la mort et réussir notre départ.
So now they are talking about the environment and leaving our carbon footprint, and devotees think about leaving their bhakti footprint before they leave and what they've done to make the world a more beautiful place.
Et aujourd'hui, où on entend beaucoup parler dans le monde des problèmes climatiques et de l'empreinte carbone, les dévots, eux, ils pensent surtout à l'empreinte bhakti qu'ils vont laisser dans ce monde pour le rendre plus beau.
So let's thank Bhakti Charu now for all that he did to help New Mayapur.
Et je veux donc remercier encore une fois Bhakti Charu Swami pour tout ce qu'il a fait pour la nouvelle Mayapur. Hare Krishna. We got a big Haribo from all here.
We're going to start the slideshow.
So, yeah. Now we're having the slideshow. After we have the slideshow of you, now we have the slideshow of Gaura-Nitai. They listen to you. They keep sending their blessing to you. And now we're going to have this slideshow.
And maybe we'll see you in the summer.
Hi.
We all pray for that.
All of you. No commentary? No commentaries? What? I don't know. Pictures are coming. Is it just no music? We should be some sound, not me, but some sound.
But I can comment. Usually when we do slideshow,
You can comment.
Ouais. Est-ce que vous voyez, do you see the screen? Do you see the screen? Okay, they say you see the screen. Okay.
I see.
Tu peux pas faire noir autour, ça reste blanc. Les photos, c'est plus joli quand c'est noir autour. Non, tu peux pas. Ok, oh, c'était fait au dernier moment. Ça, c'est un habit récent. C'est une photo d'il n'y a pas longtemps. C'est une minute. C'est Janananda Maharaj qui me l'a offert, cette photo. Parce que c'est son habit préféré à lui. Yeah, it's a let outfit actually. This photo was offered to me by Janananda Maharaj because it is his favorite outfit. Not one done by me. No. So this is in the 80s when Indradyumna Swami was president. Ça, c'est dans les années 80 quand Indradyumna Swami était président. Et une année où on avait des milliers de mushis. Vous voyez, c'est toutes des gueules de loup qui font les guirlandes. C'était super joli ce jour-là. Donc, et il y avait Gonataraj encore. Ouais. Gonataraj qui sont les morts d'Indradyumna Swami qui sont en bas. Ils étaient encore là. Je pense qu'ils sont partis en 96. Ils sont en Pologne maintenant. Maintenant, ils sont en Pologne. So this photo is from the 80s, from the time where Indradyumna Swami was president. This outfit, I choose the clothes with Sitala in London. 1 year I didn't go to India. We choose the color and she did the outfit. And it was the year where we had a lot of, comment on appelle ça les gueules de loup en anglais? No, I don't know. Anyway, those flowers are really nice. And it's hard to have as many as there is in the garland.
That's why I had the photos from that. And the small deities in front are Gaura-Nitai, which were Indradyumna Swami's deities, and were there. Yeah, they're in Poland now. So that's our first flower outfit. This is a real mess, but it's but it's we made it. I mean, that's when actually Maharaj was president. Yeah, it's the beginning. I was at Pujari. It's in 82 or 83. And each Pujari made his own outfit. And at that time, we had no glue gun. So we had to stitch them on. It was really long process. And the next day you had to dress. And actually that day, oh yeah, I remember that day. That day is that day we offered 3 outfits. That was Indradyumna Swami's desire. He heard that in Krishnaville, they were going to offer 3 outfits. So we were going to do a flower outfit, and we had a day outfit. But he said, they're offering 3 outfits, Visesa, you have to do 3 also. And then in 3 days, one girl had to stitch a night outfit. We also offer 3 outfits that day. So that day, actually, I calculate with my husband now. He was there, he was Pujari with me then. We stayed like 17 hours on the altar because we had to dress 3 times. Yeah, we dressed them in the morning with the outfit, which was the butterfly outfit. You see the backdrop. And then after, we offer the flower outfit. And then at night, we offer a new night outfit. It was Maharaj desire. You see Nishingadev is still there, and Gaura-Nitai are there. I guess that's 84, I think, that when Nishingananda was here. This one is, yeah, je l'appelle Mayapur. I copied from Mayapur, so I gave him the name Mayapur. J'ai copié cette habit de Mayapur, donc je l'ai appelé Mayapur. Et ça fait pas très longtemps, c'est dans les 15 dernières années. Gaura-Nitai avec des turbans. Là, c'est le même habit, mais c'est habillé par quelqu'un de différent. Et ils sont introvertis, hein. Ils ne sont pas du bon côté, la tête et les bras. Intervertis. Ah bah, il y a la date, là. C'est le 28-8. Je pense que c'est quand on l'a offert, l'habit. Ça, j'adore. Ces photos-là, ils sont à moi, j'adore. C'est un habit que Omkara avait fait, donc c'est un très vieil habit. Omkara, c'est un disciple de Prabhupada qui est français, qui était en Inde et qui faisait des habits. C'est lui qui avait fait cet habit. Yeah, this outfit, this photo is old because this outfit was done by Omkara. It was before I was at Pujari, it was done. It's a very long time ago, very nice outfit, but those photos belong to me. I really like how they are. They're really beautiful. Yeah, ça c'est encore plus vieux. Ouais, mais c'est après qu'il y a eu Radha Govinda Madhava, parce que toutes les photos où il y a le Sringasan, il y avait Radha Govinda Madhava, donc c'est après 79. So this outfit is after 79 because 79 is when we got the Sringasan. We got the Sringasan just when Radha Govinda Madhava came. And that outfit was actually also Sitala designed it. That was for the installation of Radha Govinda Madhava. But it was done in Omkara workshop, that outfit. Very nice outfit. Baby blue, we call it. Mais c'est quand Maharaj était président aussi, parce qu'il y a Gaura-Nitai et Nishingadev qui sont là sur l'hôtel. Donc c'est entre 82 et 86. Indradyumna Swami a été président ici 4 ans. De 82 à 86. So this is between 82 and 86. I must say for everyone who is Pujari here, look, I love how their hair are. It should be like that. Really? I like when they have hair not too long. Curly, but not too long. I love this one. Ça, c'est la Bordeaux. Very beautiful. Sitala did that too. And for me, or their dress, it's perfection. They are perfect. And this is also between 82 and 86. Very perfect. Yeah, this is just after Radha Govinda Madhava were installed. But actually the big jewelry they wear, we still have it. And it's, you know, those big necklaces you see like that, big pieces. They were wearing it the day of the installation. I have no outfit matching it. It's what, otherwise we have put it today. And we still have those. And it was, I think, Sitala or Kanti who bought it in England just for their installation. So just Gaura-Nitai had that necklace, belt, ankle. So that's the small Gaura-Nitai you were installed with the big one. So we had them all the time from the installation. On the photo, you see them, they're at the foot of, you know, I have a photo here, they're at the foot. But after, c'est la première qu'on avait envoyée. But after, because we had Gaura-Nitai and those, so we had 2 sets of small Gaura-Nitai. And then they opened the farm in Spain. And when they opened the farm in Spain, they asked for our small Gaura-Nitai because we had 2 pairs. So our small Gaura-Nitai, they are actually at the farm in Spain with their big deities. And after, when everything fell apart here, we had Gaura-Nitai, and they were in Spain since few years, for a while, because they left, right? I don't know when. What's the name in Spain of that one? New Vraja Mandala. So they are in New Vraja Mandala, those small Gaura-Nitai, in Spain, yeah. And after we had Gaura-Nitai, and after Gaura-Nitai gone, so now we have no small Gaura-Nitai. T'en as pas pris dans le délit d'Arsham? T'en as pas scanné d'autres? Ah. Ils ont montré, mais ils n'ont pas montré de près. Did you bring the camera near so the devotee on the Zoom they can see? Okay, so we will unplug the microphone so you can see very clearly the deities today. Yeah, they will take the camera. They will close the mic.
J'ai plus la caméra.
Janananda Goswami Maharaj, Mahotsav ki jai.
C'est bon. Comme ça? Oui. Encore?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna. Dear exalted Vaishnavas, this is Lochanananda from New Mayapur. Thank you for joining and being with us. And in few minutes, the Gaura-Arati is going on right now. In few minutes, the curtains get closed. So we're trying to do a bit of kirtan for the pleasure of Gaura-Nitai. If you like, you can be online and watch the darshan. Thank you very much. And we appreciate, we hope you all come back. Give us your wonderful association. Jai Srila Prabhupada.